Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we're diving deep into one of the most shocking announcements in BTS history. Today, we're talking about something that has literally shaken the entire ARMY community to its core. For the first time ever in their 13-year career, BTS is operating with two dance leaders. Yes, you heard that right. JHope, who has been the sole dance leader since debut, is now sharing this crucial role with Jimin. And trust me, the reasons behind this decision are way more complex and fascinating than you might think. So grab your snacks, get comfortable, and let's unpack this together because what I'm about to tell you will completely change how you see BTS's comeback. Before we get into the shocking details, let me just say that this isn't drama, this isn't conflict, this is actually one of the smartest and most strategic decisions big hit music has ever made. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why. But first, let's rewind a bit. When BTS debuted back in 2013, JHope was chosen as the dance leader for obvious reasons. The guy was a street dancer before joining Big Hit. He could pick up choreography faster than anyone else, and he had this natural ability to teach and lead others. For over a decade, JHope has been the one staying late in the practice room, the one making sure every single member hit every single move perfectly, the one responsible for BTS's legendary synchronization that we all know and love. But here's where things get interesting. During the military service period, something fundamental changed. Each member went off and did their own thing, right? JHope embarked on a solo world tour called Hope on the Stage, and let me tell you, this wasn't just any tour. He became the first BTS member to headline a solo stadium show in the United States at BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. Think about that for a second. He was carrying an entire stadium show by himself, leading backup dancers, maintaining energy for hours, and being responsible for every single aspect of the performance. That experience gave him a completely new perspective on what leadership really means and what its limits are. At the same time, Jimin was out there absolutely crushing it with his solo career. He released two incredible albums, Face and Muse, and his song Like Crazy made history as the first solo K-pop track to hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. But more than the commercial success, Jimin was learning something crucial. He was working directly with choreographers, making creative decisions, leading dancers, and developing his own artistic vision. He wasn't just following someone else's choreography anymore. He was creating it, directing it, and owning it completely. Now here's where the story gets emotional and real. After JHope finished his solo tour at Goyang Stadium, he did an interview that honestly shocked a lot of people. JHope, the guy known for endless energy and positivity, admitted that he was worried. He said he was concerned about whether the chemistry in BTS would be the same after such a long break, and more importantly, whether he could handle the responsibility of leading the group's performances alone. For someone like JHope to admit vulnerability like that, you know something significant was happening behind the scenes. Fast forward to late 2025 when all 7 members finally reunited in the practice room. Can you imagine that moment? These guys hadn't danced together as a complete group in almost 2 years. According to sources close to Big Hit, those first rehearsal sessions were incredibly emotional. Yes, their individual skills had grown tremendously from their solo projects, but they had to relearn how to move as one synchronized unit. They had to rediscover that BTS magic that made them the biggest group in the world. And it was during these intense practice sessions that JHope made a decision that would change everything. He went to Jimin with a proposal. Not a request, not an order, but a genuine partnership proposal. He asked Jimin to become his co-dance leader. Now, some of you might be thinking, why Jimin? Why not someone else? And that's exactly what we need to talk about because this choice was incredibly strategic and honestly, it makes perfect sense when you break it down. First of all, let's talk about their different dance backgrounds. JHope comes from street dance and hip-hop, which means he excels at powerful, sharp, energetic movements. His style is all about precision and impact. Jimin, on the other hand, has a background in contemporary dance. He trained in modern and contemporary styles before joining BTS, which gives him this incredible fluidity, grace, and emotional expression in his movements. Together, they literally represent the full spectrum of what BTS's performance style has become over the years. It's not just hip-hop anymore. It's not just contemporary, it's this beautiful fusion of raw power and elegant artistry. And having both perspectives leading the dance means they can create choreography that's richer, more complex, and more visually stunning than ever before. But there's more to it than just technical skills. If you've been following BTS closely over the years, you know that Jimin has always been that member who stays late in the practice room. Even when everyone else has gone home, Jimin is still there running through routines, perfecting every detail, pushing himself to the point where other members have had to literally drag him out of the practice room to rest. He's always functioned as an unofficial co-leader in many ways. He helps other members with difficult moves, he provides emotional support, and he has this insane dedication to perfection that matches JHope's work ethic. So really, making this official is just acknowledging what's been happening informally for years. Now let's talk about the practical reasons why BTS needs 2 dance leaders right now, because this is where it gets really interesting. Have you seen the scale of their comeback plans? We're talking about a world tour with 65 concerts across 34 cities on 5 continents, running from April 2026 all the way through March 2027. That's insane. The physical and mental demands of that schedule are absolutely staggering. One person cannot possibly handle all the leadership responsibilities that come with that. With 2 dance leaders, they can divide the workload. One can focus on group synchronization, while the other works on individual member coaching. They can provide different perspectives on the same choreography, giving members options for how to interpret movements based on their individual strengths and body types. And here's something that I think is really important that not enough people are talking about. The emotional and psychological benefits of shared leadership are massive. Being a dance leader in K-pop is incredibly isolating. You're the one who has to push members harder when they're tired, you're the one correcting mistakes, and you're the one bearing the burden when performances don't go perfectly. For 13 years, JHope has carried that weight mostly alone, always maintaining his bright, sunny personality even when the pressure was crushing him. Now, with Jimin as his partner, he has someone who truly understands that pressure. He has someone he can confide in during difficult moments, someone who can take over when he needs a break, and someone who shares the responsibility equally. Let me tell you about their upcoming album, because this is crucial to understanding why dual dance leadership makes sense right now. The new album is called Arirang, and from what we know, it's going to be BTS's most ambitious project yet. They're incorporating traditional Korean musical elements with contemporary production, which means the choreography needs to reflect that same fusion of tradition and innovation. Think about it. How do you create dance that honors Korean cultural roots while still being modern and globally appealing? You need multiple perspectives. JHope can bring that contemporary urban edge and sharp precision, while Jimin can incorporate the fluidity and storytelling elements from his contemporary training. Together, they can create something that neither could achieve alone. There's also this beautiful element of their friendship that makes this partnership work so well. JHope and Jimin have lived together, traveled together, and supported each other through everything. There's no ego between them, no competition, just genuine respect and a shared goal of making BTS the best performing group in the world. We've seen glimpses of their dynamic recently on social media. Remember when Jimin posted about cleaning the practice room after it had been unused for 2 years? JHope immediately commented, basically telling him to clean it properly because they needed it for rehearsals. That casual, direct communication shows the comfort level they have with each other. They can be honest, they can joke around, but they also have this deep professional respect that makes co-leadership actually viable. What I find really fascinating is how this move could change the entire K-pop industry. The traditional model in K-pop has always been single designated leaders for various positions. You have a group leader, a dance leader, a vocal leader, and so on. But that model was developed when groups were smaller and schedules were less intense. As groups get bigger and more successful, that single leader model becomes unsustainable. BTS, being the biggest group in the industry, has the influence to normalize collaborative leadership structures. Other companies are definitely watching this closely, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more groups adopting dual leadership models in the future. The ARMY reaction to this announcement has been absolutely overwhelming. Fans have been creating these beautiful compilation videos showing moments throughout BTS's history where JHope and Jimin work together in the practice room, highlighting their natural chemistry and complementary skills. People are analyzing old performances and realizing that, yeah, Jimin has been functioning as a co-leader for years, we just didn't have official confirmation. The excitement about what this means for comeback performances is through the roof. Fans are speculating that we might see more complex partner work between JHope and Jimin, more intricate formations, and dance breaks that showcase both their individual strengths and their unified vision. Here's something that really struck me when I was researching this topic. In a recent interview snippet, JHope talked about his solo tour experience and said something along the lines of how he learned that great performances don't come from one person trying to do everything. They come from collaboration and diverse perspectives working together toward a common goal. That's such a mature and evolved understanding of leadership. It's not about being the best or the strongest individually. It's about creating an environment where everyone can contribute their best work. And that's exactly what this dual dance leader structure is designed to do. I also want to address something that I've seen some people worried about in the comments section of other videos. Some fans are concerned that this means JHope is stepping down or that there's some kind of problem. Let me be very clear. This is not a demotion, this is an evolution. JHope isn't losing his position, he's gaining a partner. The job has simply grown too big for one person to handle sustainably, especially at the level BTS operates. This is about making smart decisions for long-term success and well-being, not just pushing through until someone breaks down. Think about it from a business perspective too. Big Hit Music is managing the biggest music group in the world. They have a responsibility to their artists to create working conditions that are sustainable and healthy. Having two dance leaders means better quality control, more creative input, reduced burnout, and ultimately better performances. It's actually a really smart business decision disguised as an artistic one. What excites me most about this partnership is imagining what JHope and Jimin are going to create together. We've seen what they can do individually with their solo projects. JHope's tour was explosive and energetic, showcasing his incredible stage presence and hip-hop foundation. Jimin's performances were emotional and artistic, highlighting his contemporary training and storytelling ability. Now imagine those two forces combined, working together to create choreography for 7 members, with full creative control and equal authority. The possibilities are endless. Let me also talk about something that hasn't been discussed much, but is incredibly important for understanding this decision. The age and experience factor plays a huge role here. Both JHope and Jimin are now in their late 20s and early 30s. They've been performing at an elite level for over 13 years. Their bodies have been through intense physical demands, countless injuries, and relentless schedules. Dance at this level isn't just about talent, it's about longevity and sustainable practice. Having two leaders means they can protect each other physically. If one is dealing with an injury or fatigue, the other can step up. They can rotate responsibilities during rehearsals so that neither is constantly demonstrating difficult moves that might cause injury. This is especially crucial for a world tour that will span nearly an entire year. There's also the matter of creative burnout that people don't talk about enough. When you're the sole person responsible for leading dance, you're expected to constantly come up with fresh ideas, solve problems, and maintain enthusiasm even when you're exhausted. That's an enormous mental load on top of the physical demands. With Jimin sharing that responsibility, they can bounce ideas off each other, challenge each other creatively, and keep the artistic process exciting rather than draining. When one person hits a creative wall, the other can offer a different perspective or take the lead temporarily. This dynamic keeps the creative energy flowing and prevents stagnation. Another aspect worth mentioning is how this dual leadership prepares BTS for an even longer career trajectory. Let's be real, ARMY wants BTS to perform together for as long as possible. We don't want to see our favorite members burning out or suffering career-ending injuries because they push themselves too hard. By implementing this dual dance leader structure now, Big Hit is essentially future-proofing the group. They're creating a sustainable model that can carry BTS through their 30s and potentially even their 40s. Look at how long groups like Shinhwa have performed. They're still going strong after more than 2 decades precisely because they learned to distribute responsibilities and protect each other's longevity. I've also been thinking about how this change affects the other members, particularly the dance line. Jungkook, who is also an incredibly talented dancer, now has two leaders he can learn from and approach with questions. Each leader brings different expertise, so depending on what Jungkook or any other member is struggling with, they can go to either JHope or Jimin for guidance. This creates a richer learning environment where members can develop more diverse skill sets. It's like having two master teachers instead of one, each with their own specialties and teaching methods. The timing of this announcement, happening just months before the comeback, also tells us something important. This wasn't a last-minute decision made in panic. This was carefully planned and discussed among the members and management well in advance. The fact that they're being transparent about it and announcing it publicly shows confidence in the decision. They're not hiding it or downplaying it. They're celebrating it as a positive evolution of the group. That kind of transparency builds trust with fans and sets realistic expectations for how the comeback process will unfold. What I'm most curious about is seeing how this partnership manifests in the actual performances. Will we see more duo choreography featuring JHope and Jimin front and center? Will they create signature moves or dance breaks that showcase their complementary styles? Will they each lead different songs on the album, with their distinct choreographic voices coming through in different tracks? The Arirang album reportedly has 14 tracks, which gives plenty of room for diverse choreographic approaches. Maybe JHope leads the more aggressive, high-energy tracks while Jimin leads the emotional, storytelling pieces, or maybe they blend their styles throughout. Either way, the variety and depth we're likely to see is incredibly exciting. There's something else I want to mention that adds another layer to this story. Both JHope and Jimin have achieved incredible streaming numbers and commercial success with their solo work. JHope's concert film grossed over $4 million globally, while Jimin has accumulated more than 6.5 billion streams on Spotify alone. These aren't just artists anymore, they're proven solo stars who could easily continue their individual careers. The fact that they're choosing to come back together and commit to this shared leadership role speaks volumes about their dedication to BTS as a group. They could be protective of their individual success and compete for spotlight, but instead they're pooling their strengths and experiences to elevate the entire group. That's the kind of selflessness and maturity that makes BTS special. I also think it's worth noting how this decision reflects broader changes in workplace culture and leadership philosophy. Gone are the days when success meant having one strong leader at the top making all decisions. Modern organizations, whether in entertainment, business, or technology, are recognizing that distributed leadership creates better outcomes. It reduces single points of failure, encourages diverse perspectives, and creates more resilient teams. BTS adopting this model isn't just smart for their specific situation, it's also them being at the forefront of cultural evolution in how we think about leadership and teamwork. Another interesting dimension is how this might influence the creative direction of individual songs on the album. Imagine a track where JHope's choreographic vision takes center stage, with sharp, synchronized movements that emphasize power and precision. Then imagine another track where Jimin's influence dominates, with flowing, expressive movements that tell an emotional story. Having both voices in the choreographic conversation means the album can showcase greater range and artistic depth. It's not just about having variety for variety's sake, it's about matching the choreographic style to each song's specific message and mood in the most authentic way possible. As we get closer to the March 20th album release, I think we're going to see more behind-the-scenes content that shows JHope and Jimin working together in the practice room. Big Hit knows that fans are incredibly curious about this new dynamic, and they're going to give us glimpses of how this partnership functions in real time. I cannot wait to see those practice videos, because I think they're going to be absolutely fascinating. We'll probably see them debating creative choices, demonstrating moves to the other members, and supporting each other through the challenging moments that inevitably come up during intense rehearsal periods. So what's the shocking truth behind this partnership? It's actually pretty simple when you strip away all the speculation and drama. BTS has grown beyond what any single person can lead alone. The choreography is more complex, the tours are longer and more demanding, the creative vision is more ambitious, and the pressure is more intense than ever before. JHope recognized this reality, had the humility to ask for help, and chose the perfect partner in Jimin. Together, they represent everything that makes BTS's performance style unique and powerful. This isn't about weakness or inability, it's about wisdom and strategic evolution. The truth is that BTS has always been about 7 members working together as one, and this decision to have dual dance leaders is just an extension of that philosophy. It's about recognizing that collaboration makes you stronger, not weaker. It's about playing to individual strengths while building something greater than the sum of its parts. And honestly, I think this might be one of the most important decisions BTS has made in their entire career because it sets them up for sustainable success instead of burning out their best people. As we wrap up this video, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about JHope and Jimin as co-dance leaders? Are you excited? Are you nervous? What are your predictions for how this is going to affect their comeback performances? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I love reading your perspectives. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your fellow ARMY friends, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be covering every single detail of BTS's comeback as more information drops, so you definitely don't want to miss that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Purple you!